Hey guys, how's it going? Tonight we're playing Monster Hunter World. It's a little bit crazier than the normal games that I've played. This game took a little bit of time for me to get the hang of. You end up picking your character, and the little cat that's following me around is your partner in crime. That helps you out a lot in some of the missions. I don't really see him doing too much. He ended up fighting a little bunch of little iguanas, and your little pet cat ends up getting a sidekick as well, which helps you out a little bit, take out some of the bosses. The first boss was like a lizard iguana mix. I'm going to show all three of them in this video because it took me a little bit of time to take them down. We're going to start with the easiest one, which was this guy. And like I said, it took me a little bit of time to get the controls down, so I decided to just go in deep, and instead of going through the tutorial, I just decided to flip right into it and just jump right into the game and give this a shot. First off, we're starting off with this guy. Pretty much you're just beating him down, you're tracking him, and it takes a little bit of time because you end up getting lost. At least I did, because I ended up traveling around the world more than I ended up looking for this guy, because I wanted to see some of the different dinosaurs throughout the game, which were pretty awesome. I thought they would throw maybe the dragon into this beta, but I guess they decided against it. Maybe he was a little bit harder of a boss, or maybe he's a little bit different than what the normal things that we're used to fighting up against. This iguana was not too bad for my start off. It did take me a little bit of time to take him down. Then he ended up losing like his stomach, and then ended up shrinking, and then he ended up dying. The second one, the dinosaur, was a lot harder because he was the last one, the final one, and he just took a lot more time for me to take down. I ended up going really slow with that guy to take him down. But like I said, once you start swinging in one direction, you have to stop swinging in order to spin and go back the other direction, which I thought was a little bit off, because you should be able to turn, and your guy should be able to turn while you're swinging as well. Thought maybe that was this little thing they had going on in the beta. Maybe, hopefully they'll switch that around a little bit more when they start off the game. All in all, the graphics in itself are amazing. The different things that these guys can do, knocks your guys out, knocks them out for a loop, and you end up having to bring them back after they end up beating you down a little bit. But like I said, see that animals will come in and they will try to help you take out these bosses as well. As soon as you start to become their friends, I think that they just get sick of having to deal with these guys on a certain level. Like I said, slice his stomach open, this boss is, I would say, done for. This boss right here was the dinosaur T-Rex looking dragon mix. I don't really know because this guy sprouted wings at one point in time. I ended up finding him, but I wanted to check him out a little bit before we decided to start attacking. I figured if I get a good axe hit through the head, he would be done for, but I was completely wrong. Like I said, he woke up a little bit, and I was like, I don't really want to take him out inside this cave, so I'm going to hide just a little bit. Hopefully he'll go back to sleep. He ended up roaring at the cat and biting at him, but I think he was mainly biting at the fairy dust, which is what I'm going to call it. They help you out. You follow the dust around, and it'll end up leading you to the boss after you've searched your way through the footprints. But he ended up falling back asleep, which I thought was pretty cool, because then I could get up really close to him and check him out a little bit better and check out these graphics just a little bit more in tune. When you first start off, you fight against little lizards, and then the last one before the end of it ends up becoming one of your friends, so he ends up following you around, which is him right there. This was the T-Rex, the final one. I ended up missing when I first swung. I got a little too excited. And I was like, okay, pull out the axe part of this, which you can. And I sliced him once in the back of the head, thinking that would do some damage on this guy, but I did not actually end up completing this one because this guy just tore me apart. And I was like, I need to get out of this cave because he is definitely going to stomp me inside this cave. There's nowhere for me to run, nowhere for me to hide. So I ended up just pushing him outside, pushing him, and then I ended up sliding down this thing, and I was like, oh no. Okay, so far he hasn't come out of the cave yet. I'll shoot him a little bit with the slingshot, maybe that'll slow him down, but it's only doing 4% damage. I was like, no, there's no way that's gonna take him out at all. And he just came back with like a vengeance. I got up really close to him, and I'm too much up close and personal attacking. I like getting in there and taking him out fast, and in this game that's just not what you can do, because that guy will turn around and he will destroy you as well. He pushes you back, he jumps on you, he throws you, And I just tried to get up in there and take him out, and he just was not allowing that, which he ended up destroying me so many times. And you get like a revive, and it ended up sending you back to where you started, and the dust takes you back to where the boss is. But like I said, he is one of the tougher ones, so if you guys try the beta, you might want to go a little bit different direction than I did, because I just tried getting up in there, getting into his grill, and it just not working out for me at all. I tried, and it just nothing. He just pushed me back and pushed me back and pushed me back. After he ended up defeating me so many times, I ended up switching over to different things. Like, I thought these dinosaurs were going to help me. They just literally just watched me die. Now this last one threw me off for a loop, because I was like, alright, what is that? That's like some kind of rock fighting monster. So I was like, okay, let's take him out a little bit slower this time, since I got stomped by the T-Rex. And I just decided to go in and just try and take him out the normal way I would normally try to fight against one of these things. And I just kept pushing him back, and I kept pushing him back. I did not actually go down from my pushes from him. Like, my guy never fell or needed to be revived like I did in the one previous to him before. But I did have a little bit of trouble with him, because as you start to defeat him more and more, he starts to retreat back to his area. And the other animals just started coming in and just helping me take this guy down. The birds, the pterodactyls, and they all just decided to come in and help me push this guy back. So I'm estimating these guys are probably like the bigger bullies in the thing, and the other animals just eventually get sick of it once they start seeing the big guy start to go down. So they try to help you out as much as they can. The thing I did think was pretty cool about this game is, as you start to lower down their damage and injuring them a little bit more, stuff on them starts to fall off. Like his tail ends, the end part of his tail, the rock part, ends up getting broken off when I was slicing at the bottom part of his leg. And then I went to the tail part on one of my final swings and ended up knocking off his leg, or really damaging his leg really bad, because he started limping off. So I think I either cut something really good or I cut it really deep, but I ended up knocking that part of his tail off, which I thought was pretty awesome with the graphics in itself. Like I said, these people are just trying to get in there and trying to take him out. They're just not getting him as well as I thought that they would have. But they did get up in there, and they distracted him a couple times, which kept him away from me. He can knock over anything that's around, so if you like say, I'm gonna hide on top of this building, there's no way that big old dino can get up there, he can. See, there's the end part of his tail that I knocked off. But it was a very crazy time fighting this guy, because if you don't stay on them and you let them get away from you too much, they go and they revive themselves, and then they come back at you with a vengeance after they've been revived a little bit. But I just tried to stay on him, because I saw what the T-Rex did, and he just went back, he started eating food, and then he just kept getting stronger and stronger and more mad, ended up destroying me every time. So this guy, I was like, I'm not gonna let him get away from me. And the top of his shell, as you could tell, would just knock my stuff for a loop, and I could not hit him on the top, so you had to get up in this guy's stomach in order to actually be able to take him down one by one. But all in all, he was not as bad as the T-Rex looking animal, because that was definitely not a T-Rex, but he was not as rough as him, because this guy just pretty much, the only thing this guy really wanted to do was just get away and revive himself, because once he started limping off, he did not want anything to do with me until he got something to eat, something to relax himself. But so I just decided that I was not going to let him get away from me. But he does run a lot faster than you do, and which is normal because he's a lot bigger. And a lot of different things you'll run into along with trying to chase after him. Like, sometimes I ran into different types of dinosaurs along my way to fight against him. I just did not want him to get away from me enough to where he was going to take me out. So I wanted to stay on him. You can get on his back, and that's how I ended up defeating him. was you ended up getting on your back. I did not know that when I first started this one, but if you're playing this for the demo as the first time and you're watching this video, just know that if that little area where you can jump on his back, you probably could have actually finished him off right there. I did not get that luxury, so I decided just to keep pushing and pushing and pushing him back until he led me to the final area to where he would not be able to revive or heal himself anymore. For the most part, I just wanted to take him out. But he ends up going back to this area to where he sinks himself in the mud, in the water, and revives most of him. So I ended up trying to get into the water and take him out, which wasn't really my best moment, but I didn't really want him to revive any more than what he already had. So see, as you see, you start to injure him, he starts to limp, and then he doesn't travel as fast, so I got to at least get up on him a little bit better and try to take him out one by one. You can mine certain things with it. I thought was a very cool thing, like get like different things, harden up your weapons, get slingshot ammo just for throughout and stuff if you stop and you grab it. Usually it's just stones, they're like little stones that you grab along the way, and that will help you out, and you can just keep shooting slingshot. And they don't do nothing for damage, at least they didn't do nothing for the beta. It was only like 4% damage, and you're getting a little bit more with your sword slash hammer, because you can switch your sword into a hammer by pressing triangle, which will change it around a lot, but that's only on the PS4. I'm not quite sure what it is on the Xbox One, but he is like a very clumsy dinosaur, so he'll run into like whatever you're near. So if you get close enough to something, he will end up running into it and knocking himself over, which gives you the opportunity to end up going in and trying to take him out. I did fast forward it a little bit here so I could get a little bit farther on by chasing him down, because he does end up taking a very long time to reach the end of his cycle, because he ended up reaching this watering hole right here, and then he gets to the end, and it just takes a really you gotta have. I tried swinging at him while he was going, and that just did nothing, so I ended up picking up most of the stuff along the way just to try to reach a little bit closer to where he was. Well, like I said, if you let them reach like areas like these to where they can hide and they can feed and they can eat, he ends up going underneath, healing himself up a little bit, and he comes up a whole different color, and I just tried to get him out of there. I just could not fully get him out of the water once he was in there. I tried staying in the water with him just to try and get in there, which probably was not my best move. I probably should have tried to get him out of there. So I climbed up on this thing knowing that he would at least try to get a little bit away from the water, but it ended up backfiring on me because it ended up pushing me and him back into the water, which I tried to push him back, and he just was not having any of that. This game is a very amazing game if you're into like Final Fantasy VII and fighting against big old monsters of different areas. I just wish that it handled the controls a little bit better in the release of the game. Then maybe I would check it out when they release the game in full-fledged. There is some little things that you guys should keep an eye out for when you're playing this game. Mainly, there's a little frog, and it looks like a big old bullfrog, and if you hit it while you're near one of these guys, it'll electrocute them and then knock them to the ground. Problem is, if you don't get away fast enough, it'll electrocute you as well, and you and the dinosaur will just be there like you just got tased, and you will not be able to move, and then you're stuck in that exact area for like the entire time. But all in all, this game was amazing. For the graphics in it alone were pretty awesome. I ended up pushing him out right here and then getting on the back of him during the last 5 minutes of each time. I just was like, I got to get him away, so I jumped up on him, and then I just went to ham on top of it. You have to pay attention to certain controls, and then your guy ends up just like slamming and slamming on this guy, and then eventually it ends up speeding up, and you can actually just take him out by just stabbing him and then changing your sword around inside of him and killing him. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe if you are new here.